Hello, welcome back everyone. Today we are going to implement JSON saving and loading system in Unity. In the last video we implemented player pref system in Unity. Player pref and JSON saving system are very similar. Both are not at all secure. User can change or update the local data. The reason we use JSON is for server communication. You can upload and retrieve data using JSON on the server. I have updated the player data class with the variable required for this tutorial, gaming name, health and damage. We will create one more script called save system. We will delete all the existing code and create a public variable of type player data. This will be your class that you have created to save the data. The next variable will be a public string, which will be the name of the JSON file. Next, we will create a private string path, which will be the path to our JSON file that we named above. In the start method, we will assign the path. The path will be the application's persistent data path plus slash plus the file name. We need to create two public functions and two private functions. Let's quickly create them. First, public void function will be save and the second will be load. Next, we will create the private functions. First function will be write to file, which will take the JSON string as the parameter. The second private function read from file will return us a string. The next step will be to populate these functions with some logic. Let's start with write to file. This function is responsible for storing the data into the JSON file. For this, we will use system.io. In the function, we will create a file stream variable which will create a file at the given path. File stream takes two parameters. First is the path and second is the file mode, which can be either create or update. Using this file stream, we will initialize the stream writer. Stream writer will then write the JSON string. This is the same JSON string that we took as a parameter. Now when we call this function and pass any JSON string, it will create a file and save those values into the file. The next function that we will populate some logic with is read from file. This function will read the data present in the JSON file and will return us the JSON string that we can use in our game. In the function, the first thing we will check is whether the file exists or not on the particular path. If the file does not exist, then we will give a debug message saying file not found. If the file exists, then using the stream reader, we will initialize a reader variable at the particular path. We can then return the data present in the file using reader.read2end. Now let's work on the public function that we have created. Let's start with the save function. The save function is responsible for converting the values entered in the UI to a JSON string and then passing that same JSON string into the write to file function that we created before. In the function, we will create a string variable named JSON. This will hold the JSON string. Using JSON utility dot to JSON, we will convert the player data variable into a JSON string. We will assign this JSON string to a local variable called JSON. We will now call the write to file function and pass the local variable called JSON as the parameter. After the save function, the next public function that we will write is the load function. In this function, we will initialize the player data variable that we created before. We will create a local string variable called JSON. We will assign the value to this JSON variable by calling the read from file function. Since read from file function is returning us a string, we don't need to typecast it. We will use from JSON override function in the JSON utility, which takes two parameters, the JSON string and the data type variable that we want to overwrite. Now that we have created the JSON save system, let's go back to Unity. We will create an empty game object and will name it UI interaction. We also need a script to interact with the UI. Let's create a script called UI interaction. Let's also drag this script into the empty UI interaction game object that we just created. Let's open the UI interaction script. The script is responsible for all UI interactions in the game. Let's take three public input fields. Let's call them gaming name, health and damage. Next, we will create a private save system variable for the reference to the save system in the game. We will also create a private player data variable of type player data. We will now create a private void function called getValuesOfUser. This function is responsible for getting the values in the input field in the game. It will assign those values to the player data class variable that we created before. We can access the player data class variable by doing playerData.name. We will assign the input value of gaming name to player data.name by doing player data.name is equals to gaming name.text. Similarly, we will assign the rest values in the player data variable. Since input field.text will return us a string, we need to parse it to int so that we can assign it to the int values in the player data variable. We now need to update the save system script. In the save function, we will add a parameter. Save function will now take player data as its parameter. In the load function, we need to change it from a void function to a player data type function. The load function will now return us a player data. In the UI interaction script, inside the start function, we will call the save system load function. This function now returns us a player data. We assign this player data to our local player data variable. To show the values in the file onto the game's text field, we do gaming name.text is equals to player data.name. Similarly, we will also do it for the health and damage. Since the player data.health and player data.damage are int types and input field.text takes only string values, we will have to typecast it. To do so, we add .toString after the player data.health and player data.damage. We now need two public void functions. These functions will be attached to the button's onClick listener. The first function will be save to file. This will call get values from the user function and will pass the player data to the save system.save function. The next function that we will write is load from file. This function will load all the values from the JSON file. We will cut all the code from the start function and paste it into the load from file function. We then call load from file function in the start. Let's go back to Unity and assign the functions to the save and load button. Then we will assign all the input fields to the UI interaction script. Next, we will create an empty game object and will name it save system. This game object will hold the save system script. Since the JSON file name is a public string variable, we can change the JSON file name if we want to. Let's keep it the same. In the UI interaction script, let's take the save system reference in the start method. For taking the reference, we will do save system. The local variable is equals to find object of type save system. Find object of type function will find all the scripts of a particular type in the entire scene. Let's go back to Unity and now play the game. When we enter the gaming name, damage and the health and press the save button, the data gets saved, but there was no visual feedback or any logs. Let's use the output text as the visual indicator in the game. For the visual feedback in the game, we will go into the UI interaction script and create one public TMP text variable and will name it output text. This output text will give us the custom logs on the screen. Let's go into the save to file function and add output text.text is equals to save completed. Now whenever we save anything using the save button, we will get this feedback on the screen. Let's do the same for loading functionality in the load from file function. Let's go back to Unity and set the reference to the output text in the UI interaction game object script. We can check custom logs happening in the output text as we press the save and the load button. This is how we implement the JSON saving and loading system in Unity. As I mentioned earlier, JSON saving is not at all secure. To manipulate the values, you need to go to the application's persistent data path. On PC, we go to C users app data, then we go to local low, then we go to company name, and then we find the project name folder. There you will find your JSON file. You can now edit the values using the text editor. The major advantage of using JSON is for the server communication. Let's create one more user and try to manipulate its values like health and damage outside Unity. As you can see, the values that are edited outside the game are visible in the game. Let me give you an example of people exploiting this method. Flappy Bird used to save the score in the player pref. When players found out about this, they went to their storage and manipulated the score. So now whenever they start the game, their score would be 1000 or maybe more. To overcome this problem, we use binary files to save and load data. We will implement the binary saving and loading in the next video. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. If there's something that I missed out, let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching and see you next time.